complex is what greeted the South African rally crews when they moved to the Western Cape for round 2 of the South African Rally Championship. Engen have joined Volkswagen in 1993 for a joint sponsorship deal for this traditional Western Province Motor Club event. We spoke to Deputy Clerk of the Course, Steve Harding, about the expected stage conditions.
We've had an incredible amount of rain. We've had more rain than we've ever had in April, and it's only the 16th today. But it's not only the rain that was a problem. We've had a tremendous problem with high winds, a large number of trees blown over across the route. We know that our first section to Grabouw is clean. We have had to shorten one of the stages by 10 kilometers. We have cancelled one of the stages in the second leg of the event. Some of the stages in the second leg, to be quite frank with you, we haven't been able to go through yet because there are still trees blocking the route. There are crews out there working frantically to get them cleared. Hopefully we will lose very little in the way of stage mileage, but the conditions are not going to be what we'd perhaps hoped them to be. There are a lot of washaways, and it's going to be a very, very tough event.
First off the ramp and defending their title for the 5th year in a row, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide are well aware of the competition behind them.
Well, I think, you know, the four-wheel drive cars between the 5 of us is going to be close. Jannie Habek is a guy I think you have to watch, and he's quite determined on this event.
Yeah, we're very optimistic. We hope he'll do well, yeah.
Now, your car, have you done any work on it since the first event? You seem to be battling a little bit in places with suspension and that. Have you done any work on the car?
Yes, we have redesigned quite a few aspects of it. We've done a bit of testing, and we're quite positive. We have to be positive.
Now, Serge has actually mentioned you as one of the guys to watch. Are you going to get in it from the go and give him a hard time?
Well, the rally is fairly long, so we'll most probably first come in slowly and then work up to 110% later in the event.
At exactly 12 noon on Friday the 16th of April, Serge drives his Conquest off the starting ramp on his way to stage 1, a spectator stage within the V&A waterfront complex. Drawn 2 on the starting list is Cyril van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff in the only Ford Laser competing in the 1993 Championship Series.
I think the rest of us are all competing for second place because Damso knows the road so well that he'll probably be leading by an hour by tonight, so we'll just have to dice with the rest of them.
Racing against the clock is what rallying is all about. We join the crew via our car cam for a ride around this tight 1 kilometre stage.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And Vito score a time of 1 minute dead, giving them an unbelievable average speed of 60 kilometers an hour over the stage. And Cyril gets right down to business with an effort equal in status to Serge's. Jannie Habek and Martin Buerta prepare to start what has already become a very competitive rally. Nick de Waal arrived with his 1992 Sentra Coupe after writing off his new car in a crash during a high-speed testing session.
Yeah, it was just one of those unlucky moments. It was a first-gear corner, and I clipped the inside sandbank with the wheel, and it was just enough to tip the car over. So it wasn't a bad crash or anything, but it was panel beating, and it was a long weekend and things just couldn't get done.
Well, we can't miss you now in the red, white and blue, so we'll look out for you in the stages.
Yes, I'll see you along the route.
15-second ball, eh?
From the foreshore, the route moved up the N2 to Somerset West and then over Sir Lowry's Pass to the South-Col forests around Crabbeau, where the remaining 4 stages lengthen and become far more demanding on both the crews and the cars. Every vantage point is sought as the spectators seek a safe place from which to cheer on their local hero, Serge Damso. Large puddles remain on the roads, an aftermath of the huge storm which hit the peninsula just 3 days before the event. Van der Merwe and Boshoff, second on the road, but joint leaders on the scoreboard. Habeck and Buerta, having done well to score second overall on the Tour de Total rally, are well off the leading pace and struggle with a badly handling Golf. Duval and Hodgson got off to a slow start and slipped down to 6th place on this 2.26-kilometre mud bath. The crew obviously still adapting to the old car. The South African Forestry Company had prepared some awesome rally roads for this event, and the going was expected to be fast. That was until the rain arrived, leaving the roads muddy and dangerously slippery. Well, nobody told Hannes Krobler, and he made full use of the conditions, working his way up the scoreboard to lie just 6 seconds behind the flying Damso after 3 stages. Nissan believe they've built a winner with their new Sentra rally cars, and while Nick's crash was a setback in the short term, Hannes was using his Sentra to good effect in these opening stages. Toyota's number 2 driver, Enzo Kun, seen here with navigator Johan Silling, started the event well, lying 4th after the first 2 stages. Their situation was about to change, as a puncture later in the stage slowed them right down. The team lost 1.5 minutes, which pushed them back to 8th place on the scoreboard. The end of the road for Peter Baragwanath and Charles Rieler in their privately entered ex-factory-built Nissan Sentra Coupe. The stranded Nissan crew can do little but watch as firstly Glenn Durman in the leading Class C Toyota Conquest and then Leon Buerta in his Class B 16-valve Golf blast past the crippled Sentra. Terry Brand and Jeff Tyra take an early lead in the highly competitive Class D field. Serge has the hydraulic clutch system on the Conquest checked, while the other service crews concentrate on keeping their cars well shod. The shale surface on the forest roads is destructive on the rally tyres, and grip is an all-important factor. Sorrell has recently taken over the role of Ford's motorsport manager from Jeff Mortimer, which means he must drive the car and supervise the service crews. Sorrell and France currently lie 22 seconds behind Serge and show no mercy on the Sassel Ford as they endeavour to keep the Toyota in their sights. Having picked up a puncture early on in stage 4, Yanni Habeck struggles to keep the Synchro Golf within the confines of the road. The car's handling has been a problem, which Yanni has battled to get right. Having made suspension adjustments after stage 3, the flat tyre does nothing towards getting the car's geometry sorted out.
10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
As Hannes Krobler and Douglas Judd leave the time control at the start of stage 4, their teammates Duval and Hodgson battle on ahead in the stage with a car that's heavier and therefore not as nimble as the new model.
And in takes the ball, and Guy Hodgson.
To get a better idea of what the conditions are really like, let's join Hannes and Douglas for an edited journey through stage 4.
200 fork left, 100 fork left into keep left, 100 keep left then right, yeah, keep left through a sloot, then keep right, then right, then caution, jump over main road, jump, caution.
this point, the cars are averaging well over 100 kilometers an hour, and every movement on the steering wheel is a split-second reaction to the conditions.
300 straight on, ignore road to right. Straight on 100. 200. Keep right. 100, keep right, sweep right. Keep right, sweep right. Jump 100 into flying finish. Flying, no, straight on. Flying finish.
The Nissan scores a time of 9 minutes and 20 seconds, 14 seconds slower than Damso, but enough to keep their second place intact. Nick Duvall's Sentra broke a crossmember in stage 4, which cost the crew extra service time, but had no effect on their fourth place behind Sarel van der Merwe. Serge starts stage 6, the longest stage of the rally, with a total distance of 25.5 kilometers. This stage was to prove expensive in both time and equipment for many of the 50-odd survivors. With the starting gap at 2 minutes, Sarel follows Serge and Vito into the stage. Deep in the stage, the spectators await the leading cars. The Toyota number 1 picks up drive shaft problems on stage 6, giving Serge and Vito an eventual stage time of 17 minutes and 57 seconds. Sarel fights the Ford as he battles to set the car up for this tricky dirt onto tar hairpin bend. Unbeknown to Hannes Grobler, his eventual time of 17 minutes and 38 seconds will win him the stage and close Serge's leading gap down to just 8 seconds. Leading the Class C field, Glenn Durman and Dave Lukovic, going well despite having to sort out the many teething problems their newly rebuilt Conquest keeps presenting. Class B became a two-car battle early on in the rally. Leon Wurter and Francois Jordan, who normally do battle with Jörg Nell and Marty Olivier in this Volkswagen-dominated class, find new competition in the form of local boys Brady Dabner and Graham Stook. Having suffered a flat tyre in stage 3, Enzo Kuhn and Johan Silling have to endure the same fate in stage 6. The crew loses over 4 minutes on this 25-kilometre stage and inadvertently damage the car's clutch and drivetrain system. Terry Brand and Jeff Tyra storm ahead of the Class D pack, having gained a minute on their nearest opposition in the 6 stages run. The Uno of Paolo Piazzamuzzo and Neil Watt has battled to rise to the challenge, a flat tyre on this stage adding to their plight. Despite being in the lead, albeit by only 8 seconds, Serge reaches the regroup service with a deep frown on his face. The stripped rear drive shaft may have damaged the rear differential, which could be more serious than first thought.
We've had a good run for the last 5 stages, except the last one we had a side shaft pull out the rear. So I think we've lost a bit of time on the last stage because I wasn't too sure what was going wrong. So I took it a bit easier. So unfortunately it's not something bad, so we can fix it and it should be all right.
Now you're going to the night stages now, so it's lights and so on. Do you think you're going to close up those 8 seconds? You're going to try and take Serge during the night?
We're definitely all here to win this rally, so we're definitely going to close it, and it's night for everybody, so we'll see what's going to happen.
And dust hasn't been a problem at all?
No problem at the moment, and I don't think we're going to see any dust in the night. I hope not.
second board, eh? Right. The engine blinked through.
The second Toyota, that of Enzo Kun, is even worse off than Serge's. The vibration fed back into the gearbox by the flat tyre has sheared 3 bolts holding the flywheel onto the crank. The Toyota team manager later withdrew the car for fear of terminal damage. Habeck continues with suspension adjustments on the Golf in an effort to get back in touch. While Class B leader Leon Buerta supervises a gearbox change on the leading front-wheel drive car. The scoreboard at the Brabant regroup after 6 stages sees a situation up front that is as close now as it was at the start. Just 8 seconds separates the leading Class A cars. The fight for third place continues between the Van der Merwe Boshoff Ford and the Nissan of Duval and Hodgson. Buerta and Jordan presently hold 6th position overall and lead the Class B contingent. Kun and Sealing will not restart the event. Placed 8th overall, Brand and Tyra continue to lead Class D. With the crews departing in the order in which they finished Section 1, Serge and Vito clock out at the Parc Ferme time control at 8 p.m. on the night of Friday the 16th. Now second on the road, Hannes Krobler and Douglas Judd take up their position, ready to do battle against the Conquest and the 10 demanding stages that lie ahead. Three farmland stages take the rally route north up the N2 to Caledon. From there, the stages turn towards Rivier Sonderend and Bredasdorp. Conditions are drying out, but more rain is forecast for the early morning stages. Serge completes stage 7 almost unscathed. Deep washaways caused by the recent rain have damaged the lower lighting rail. The earlier drive shaft problems are fully repaired, and the car is reportedly going well. Nissan, however, appear to have a disaster on their hands. Team manager Peter de Waal reports both centres stuck at the end of stage 7. The service vans pack up and prepare to move out in search of the stricken rally cars. A quick look into the Centra's tappet cover reveals a collapsed valve stem, which sadly puts paid to the efforts of Hannes Krobler and Douglas Judd. De Waal's problems are thankfully not that serious. An oil feeder pipe has come adrift, but the damage seems minimal and the Sentra Coupe will continue. This was to be the last glimpse we would get of Habeck and Buerta, who rolled the Golf only minutes later in stage 9. The crash was enormous, but the crew escaped relatively unscathed. A short spectator stage in Caledon had the locals lining the streets, eagerly awaiting the action.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Rejoin Sorel and France in the now second-placed Sasol Ford Laser.
Beyond the yield sign. Hairpin left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Road to right, turn right round the corner. Turn right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Up.
And that curb caught most of the drivers by surprise and resulted in some fairly serious damage.
To the right of the drum. To the right of the drum. T-junction right. T right. Point 3. Road to right, turn right. Turn right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 100 meters. Hairpin right onto dirt. Hairpin right onto dirt. 10, 9. Here we go. Hairpin right here. Open hairpin left. Yeah, this thing. No. Right back down to where we were.
A rare moment, but a misunderstanding that costs the Ford crew valuable seconds.
And then we go left. Left and immediately right. Down there. That's it.
Why did you say we had to come back?
At the service area, the damage caused by the curb is quickly assessed and the bent tyre rod joints are replaced. Sorel and France were not the only crew to be caught out by this tricky section in stage 10, as demonstrated by this team, who fortunately for themselves could not be identified. The remaining night stages were relatively uneventful, with the early morning rain the only real challenge to the tiring drivers and navigators as they tackled the muddy conditions. After 16 completed stages, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide had managed to extend their lead by 2 minutes and 22 seconds. The conditions were more apt to survival than to heroics as the rally headed towards the Bredasdorp regroup. Duval's Nissan had overcome its earlier ordeal and safely occupied third place. An effort of note was that of Terry Brand and Jeff Tyra, who in a Class D 1600 Golf were well placed at 5th overall. Brady Davener and Graham Stuck had steadily moved up the field, but were still 6.5 minutes behind Buerta and Jordan. Derman and Ljukovic continued to lead Class C. With the rain clouds still threatening overhead, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide prepare themselves for the final 9 stages of the NGen Volkswagen International Rally. Of the 53 cars that started the event, only 18 will start day 2. Impassable conditions forced the organisers to cancel 2 of those 9 stages, reducing the stage distance by 33 kilometres. What remains of the route takes the rally back towards Caledon, after which 2 more stages in the Safco forests promise to reduce the finishers list even further. A long open section transports the surviving competitors to the Killarney racetrack for the finish. At the end of stage 22, Serge was forced to replace another damaged drive shaft. This puts Sorrell and Frantz ahead of the field into stage 23, where the spectators eagerly await the cars at the water crossing. Sorrell takes it slowly. He can afford a few seconds by playing it safe. Nick Duval, on the other hand, adopts an all-or-nothing attitude. And while the Nissan survives the water, the same cannot be said for our cameraman. Leon Buerta attacks the splash bravely, but must suffer with the resulting misfire until the water is cleared. The leading Class D Golf has the support of the crowd by virtue of sheer survival. Surrounded by bigger and more powerful cars on the scoreboard, this crew have shown true grit in holding their 5th place overall. More is expected from the local team of Dabner and Stuck, who wisely avoid the temptation to entertain the crowds and risk getting stuck. Piazzamuzzo and Watt have pushed their Uno up to 2nd place in Class D. Their effort becomes obvious as they hit the water with their accelerator pedal firmly against the floorboards. Having used almost 20 minutes of extra service time, Serge and Vito emerge at the splash with the Conquest fighting fit. Serge takes to the water slowly, his lead on the scoreboard of paramount importance. Class C changed hands in stage 23 when Glenn Derman crashed the Toyota Conquest, allowing Keith Coleman and Hadley Judd to head the class in their Volkswagen Golf. On to stage 25, a long 24-kilometre stage in the Safco forests. If Sorrell appears to be taking things easy, it's because he is. The rain has exposed rocks and left washaways and pools of water all along the route. Tree stumps next to the road make the going even more treacherous for the driver that happens to make a mistake. And that's exactly what happened to Nick Duval and Guy Hodgson. With their right front wheel literally hanging on by a bolt, Nick desperately tries to get the Sentra to the end of the stage and his waiting service crew. Although the car is only a 3-wheel drive model now, Nick is able to cover a fair distance before getting stuck in this right-hand uphill bend. By virtue of the rulebook, only the crew and spectators may push the stricken vehicle. Helping hands get the car on the move once again. Serge and Vito in their leading Toyota Conquest blast past the camera on their way to yet another fastest stage time. From their position in the field, Vito can keep an eye on what the cars ahead of them are doing. With the Nissan crippled in the stage, Sarl is their only possible threat. Exhausted, but only 2 stages away from the finish, Serge and Vito have the end in their sights.
I just clipped a little rock and it broke the right front suspension. So the car couldn't carry on any further.
For Nick Duval and Guy Hodgson, it's the end of the road. The Sentra could only go so far on 3 wheels, and that was not far enough. In rallying, one man's misfortune is the rest of the field's gain, as Buerter and Jordan move up to take the Sentra's 3rd place. There ends Nissan's efforts, so near, yet too far from the end. A short sprint around the Killarney racetrack finally brings the 1993 N-Gen Volkswagen International Rally to an end. The results tell a story of fatigue and endurance on an event that many failed to finish. The top 10 results show a good spread of class finishes, with only 2 Class A cars at the end, but an exceptional effort from the Class D crews, who brought home 4 cars to the finish. Serge and Vito have now won this event for the 5th time in a row and have a total of 7 wins in 8 years. A proud moment for Sonny Bonafide, who, as clerk of the course, organised a great event and was able to witness his son taking top honours alongside teammate Serge Damseau.
I'm actually very happy with the results. We had a good start from the start to the end. We won most of the stages except for 3 stages. And actually very happy. The performance and the car went very well. And thank you to my crew, all the effort they put into it. I'm very happy. Thank you.